All right, you little fifth graders. Last week we did multiplication of whole numbers. This week, multiplication of decimals. So, if you know how to multiply whole numbers, multiplying decimals will be very, very easy. If you know your multiplication facts, like you should as a fifth grader, the multiplication of whole numbers will be very, very easy. Or a multiplication of decimals. Both of them will be. Multiplication of decimals. Multiplying decimals is just like multiplying whole numbers. So, it says find the product of 5 and 1/10 times 3. So, step number 1. You just multiply. Now look to the side there. It says you do not have to line up the decimals. You don't line up the decimals like you do when you add and subtract decimals. Very important to remember. It can be kind of confusing sometimes, but you just got to deal with it. When you multiply decimals, do not line them up. When you add and subtract decimals, you will line them up. So, step number 1 is just simply to multiply like normal. 3 times 1 is 3. Bring down to 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Bring down to 15. So you got 1, 5, and 3 on the bottom. Now, of course, if it was a double digit on the bottom, you bring down to 0, multiply again, and so forth. But we'll practice that later. Now, step number 2. After you have multiplied, you are to count the total number of digits after the decimal point in each factor. And then add the digits. So, right here, you have a decimal point. You got one number behind the decimal point. So I'll put a number 1. Down here, you got no decimal. No number behind the decimal point. So I have a 0. Then I will add those two numbers up. 1 plus 0 is 1. And then number 3, count that many places from the right in the product. This is where you will place the decimal point. I have one place altogether. So down here from the right, I move over one place, and there will be my decimal, and that is my answer. 15 and 3/10. And the same applies from all problems. For example, 5 and 8/10 times 2 and 9/10. I multiply it, I get 1682. I come up here and add up my decimal places. I got one place here, so I put a 1. I got one place here, so I put a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. That means I move my decimal place over 2 places. 1, 2. My answer is 16 and 82 hundredths. Don't do these yet. We're going to do these in our practice. Last but not least, have a nice day. So there you have it, you little fifth graders. That's how you multiply decimals. Now move on to the practice video. I got new boots.